Right guys, Luton here. Here's what we're going to do. Hangar 21 domination, totally raw, totally unedited, and talk you through what you got to do. I was thinking about making a simple smoke tactics video today, and I was like, no, the hell with it. I'm going to give them a full round. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to show what it is you need to be doing to win this gameplay. This was a good round. This was a good example. And this map can be a pain in the ass. I know some people have been talking about it. You can see at the top here, me and Numi were discussing the last. This is how heated it gets on my server. Like we were having this huge chat breakdown talking about like the last round and like why they won and so on and so on. I might actually show that round as well, because although we lost, it was a pretty full-on, really interesting round. Okay, so up on the top you got B, on the ground you got A and C. So what are we going to do? Well, we've already got C. Now at the very beginning of a round, what's usually going to happen on a map like this, because it's linear, everybody can switch over, especially on a map like this where you can move around plenty. And this is exactly what has happened. They've come back here. Now, unfortunately, I had no support. And often, when you play out a game, it's a kind of a learning curve. If you can communicate to the rest of your team, and obviously I have my squad on TeamSpeak, but if you can highlight to them, and here we are, look, bam, straight away, triple capped. The reason we got triple capped, the other side are very, very strong, in terms of gun skill, gunplay. Now, controlling the top and then dropping down to individually cap bases, that's a reasonable, legit tactic for this kind of map layout, and indeed this map. That'll work for you. So at the same time though, we've got to destabilize them right now, and we haven't really got into the swing or the flow. Right now we're just kind of feeling, the teams are feeling each other out. They're trying to figure out like where's the strength, where's the weaknesses, how they want to play this map. You can't know out of the gate how it's going to be. So I can't say to you right now, this is your 100% tactic, because that's not how it works. You've got to look at what they're doing, what's their game plan, or, what are their flaws? Are they going to stay in one place? And look, just getting wrecked right here. I'm getting distracted in the game because me and Numi are still having this conversation about the last game. Anyway, okay, so we are losing contention of B right now. We are capping C, and we've got some people moving back towards A. I should also say about me and Numi, it just shows this is the great stuff. When you're in a clan, you can have these kind of really frank, full-on discussions while still maintaining the respect for the other person, which is something I really always enjoy very much, to be able to have these kind of debates. And it helps you learn and understand and figure out new tactics, figure out new ways to play, figure out the kind of bare bones of the game, which is always super important. So we are controlling the top deck right now. We've got B and C. Now, like I said before, there's no hard and fast rule about how it is that you're wanting to play. You probably thought coming into this gameplay that I was going to be like, yes, do X, Y, Z and you will win. Well, nothing is so simple as that. And in fact, if you watch any video where they say that kind of stuff, whether it's about a weapon or a tactic, and they say literally like, yeah, this is the one, this will win you the game, this will make it, it's bullshit. Okay, that's not how it works. There is no god gun. There is no, safe 100% tactic for every map. It doesn't work like that. The game doesn't work like that. It's fluid. It's based off of how they are playing, what is their own skill set, what is their own background, how do they learn, how do they play, what are they going to do. You've just got to adapt. You've got to be ready to adapt. You've got to be ready to speak to your team. And right now this game doesn't seem to be going anybody's particular way. At the very beginning of this round, it seems like we're not doing that great. I'm not doing that great. Well, you'll see how these kind of things change up as we go along. Right now, the points, there's only 10 tickets in it, barely. It's a very, very close fought game. And that's, this is on my server. This is the kind of games we get on my server. You get them within 10 tickets. Happy to say the final score is not that close. But, that is how it goes. So basically, right now, you've got to be looking at, we thought we heard somebody up here. One of the guys on TeamSpeak, I remember, was saying to me about it. There's a guy up in that left room. So basically, yeah, you've got to be looking at how the other team are playing, and then off of that you have to make a decision. Now, one thing that I was being sure to point out to my guys was to be able to predict and anticipate where they're going to move to. So look, if we just cap A at one end of the base, it stands to reason that if we already have another base, they're going to move to that. And that's when you get into this back and forth capping. A lot of people call it ring around the rosy. I hate that because I find it sort of belittles the way in which you play, which can actually be quite skillful and tactical, especially when you're playing these very, very fast, very quick situations which are changing all the time. You have to be ready to adapt and figure out where your enemy are, what they're going to do, how they're going to counter you. All these things you've got to take into consideration. Not to mention the fact that you've just got to be ready to position yourself to be able to handle those different situations, and that's what we're doing right now. Even though we feel like the likelihood is that they're probably going to go towards C, I am moving myself back towards B. Why am I doing that? Because it takes a lot of time, and I'm using that time in between those attacks to position myself in a place where I can handle both. If they come to B, I'm here. If they go for C, I can just hop back straight down onto it. On a map like this, towards the triple cap, there we go, like C. It's obvious it's going to happen. They will go for this one because it's nearer, it's in a better position for them to get onto the ground to, rather than B, which takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. A and C on this map are the bases you've got to watch the most. B, you obviously want to be in contention of, but you've got to think about how much time it's going to take you to get up there. There is another issue, of course, which is the verticality of the gameplay. If you're controlling A and C, or you're trying to control A and C, you have to be aware of the fact of the vertical gameplay. It's just a factor, and here you are, we can see that as we reach the middle of the round, I start to pick my game up a little bit from the rather wet start that I had. But yeah, so you've got to understand, and you've got to think about where you're going to be. Now, we're in a lucky situation right here because my team is very capable, but so is the other team. That's again the good thing about my server, is that the teams are both very capable, and that makes it a lot more challenging because they are up against the pressure of us and we're up against the pressure of them. And as I say, although in some respects it looks like we're kind of having a relatively easy ride of it this round, it's not. We're having to fight very, very hard because this could slip through our fingers at any moment, and it did do on many of the games that we played out this evening. In fact, like I said, I'm pretty sure, you know, you could see from the chat I was having with Numi, the round before this one, we lost and we got absolutely smashed into the ground, not too dissimilarly from this. And like I say, I'll post that up because I think it was an interesting round. So here we are now, and we're still in the triple cap contention. Now, this is the real key as well. When you get into this situation, if you're on the other team, if you allow them to get into a triple cap situation, you are immediately in a very serious problem. The main reason being is that at that point, the team, my team right now, didn't have to do anything other than to focus on the kills. Now luckily, their team, the enemy, are moving so quickly and so fast that they've actually been able to destabilize 2 of the bases out of the 3, so they didn't let that triple cap stand for long. And actually this map does work well for that because, you know, having the bases one very high, the others low, and quite spread out in this linear fashion, it means that you can move quite quickly and come up from different angles. The teams get split up quite evenly all around the map, and so it makes it more difficult for people to hold on to 3 bases all in one go. So there's 2 ways that you can really approach this map. You can either try and hold the top one and then just power drop down to like stealth cap the bases really, really quickly. You can do it that way, or you can just try and hold the 2 lower bases. Both of these are quite difficult to do on this map because of the fact that there's so many angles and there's so many ways to move around. It can be very difficult to hold down a base. Not forgetting, of course, like I say, having your smoke grenades. Smoke grenades are a really fantastic thing. I was using this a lot. Smoke grenades are going to help you get down and cap these bases quickly, especially when you need to in very dire situations. So what's the primary thing you're really going to take away from this gameplay and indeed, you know, this domination map? The main things that you really need to take into consideration are the bare bones, the same things that I repeat myself time and time again. Look at what the enemy are doing, think about what they're doing, anticipate where they're going to move to, counter it. Those are the core principles that you're going to use to win any game, but specifically these very fast-paced situations on domination. And especially on a map like this, which is a very interesting mix of kind of vertical and a lot of object gameplay. There's a lot of sort of situational object gameplay around different pieces of scenery. So you've got like the structures and here, and you're fighting in and around that. There's a lot of angles to consider. There's a lot of places to move to, and all of that is a benefit when you're attacking and trying to capture a base. It's also a benefit when you're defending and you're trying to position yourself. So all of these things you've just got to really think about. It's a big picture deal. There is no small aspect to it. You've got to look at everything. Here's some smoke play coming in, look. So I dropped my smoke right out there. I'm dropping another smoke across here. And this is where sort of tactical smoke really comes in. I've been using it a lot lately. I've been falling in love with smoke all over again. And you see how that enables me to move up towards the objective. Even though we're right at the end of the round, even though we've got this base basically secure, this map secure, we still wanted to take B back. And this is the biggest key of all to winning. Okay, and now this round was fairly safe for us towards the end, but there have been other rounds where we have won because they stopped fighting. Don't stop fighting until the very end of the round. Keep fighting for that base as if it came down to one ticket. If you keep fighting like that, then you'll fight like that all the time on all the maps that you play, and then you will win the games. If you give up or you think it's safe, before you know it, you'll have lost all bases and the round will fall away from you. It's happened so many times, and we see it all the time. You know, my guys often say to me now when we're in games and they're like, oh my god, Luton, look, they've stopped fighting. It's just like you said, they're throwing the game away. And it happens so many times. I'm sure in the comments today you guys are going to say the same thing. You've seen games thrown away because they thought they had the advantage. They thought, hey, we've got this game in the bag, we don't even need to try anymore. And then before they know what's hit them, you steal all their bases and take the game away. So there we go, guys, that's this round. Drop your thoughts below. It's all about prioritization. It's all about knowing your enemy. Thanks for watching today, guys. I'll see you next time, I think for the smoke tactics one, or also for this round we horribly lost on. Thanks very much, guys. See you on the next one.